start while you're muted. Hey, everybody, welcome to the Phantom Zone. I'm Eric Fedorchak. I'll be your host of a sort tonight. Who else do we have here with us? Arlen can't join us because he said he's got to go blast fat ropes against the wall. That's the only way he can record.
Yeah, those are the exact words that I used. No, I just need to clear my sinuses real quick. They're still a little bit flooded.
Whatever you want to call it, man. Whatever you want to call it.
I'm gonna go back in time, and I have to stop myself.
I think it's called a refractory period.
God, what the fuck? I'm Connor McGraw, and my favorite anime is Beastars. I love Beastars. Love anime furries in general.
In his defense, from the sounds of it, the condom net has broken down.
That's true, it is, but I'm not letting off the hook.
Well, and Connor, didn't you also say that you can't stand the Justice League movies?
I hate Zack Snyder.
Okay, this is dangerous territory that we don't want to go into.
Oh, the bots have found us. They're in my house. They're in my house.
All right, who else is here?
And I'm Lou Gonzalez. I don't even know what's happening.
Zack Snyder shows up like it's RoboCop. Bitches leave.
We don't really have a plan of attack for this evening, so it's just going to kind of be whatever comes to mind. So with that being said, I'll go with my normal opener. What have people been watching recently?
I've been watching a lot of anime. That's about it, really.
Yeah, I know you've been going on and on about Chainsaw Man.
Yeah, Chainsaw Man.
And he's been good things about it.
It's fantastic. Really,
Hunter's been watching Chainsaw Man and scrolling through mini vids for the numerous supplementary documentaries.
For the Machina, Rule 34, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Do they have a full adaptation of whatever that manga was that Ryan Gosling is in?
Oh no! That's doctored, but that's a character from Chainsaw Man.
Oh, he just looks like.
Okay. Well, that makes sense. That explains it. Yeah.
I was really hoping that was real. Oh,
I was hoping too. It's not.
Well, the thing is, it feels like such a Japan thing to do that I wouldn't.
Especially for Chainsaw Man, which is like so inspired like by Tarantino and all this stuff that it's like, yeah, it is wildly cinematically inspired.
Well, okay, that's great. His camera work, but how much feet do they show in this?
Okay. I'm glad you brought this up because there's a bit of controversy.
I was gonna say there's like a weird Venn diagram of anime and with feet right in the middle.
Yeah. We were denied feet. Mappa denied us feet in that there's a scene where Power sits on a toilet and it's supposed to be super provocative and they cut out her feet. You can't see her feet. They took our feet away from us. And I just want to say I will not stand for that.
Well, that's not even a very Tarantino shot anyway. It would be a shot like down, starting at her feet would be up at the person.
In the manga, you can see her feet. That's all I'm saying.
I think all I could think of is the one sequence in Kill Bill, which I think is like a 3-minute shot just with Thurman's feet.
Yes.
So that's not one of the ones that I think of. One of the ones that maybe this is why I think of it so much when it comes to him and feet is him in Dusk Till Dawn. Where if you've forgotten, is it Penelope Cruz or is it the other
Selma Hayek?
Selma Hayek, you racist.
Oh God.
Okay. People have confused the two of them for 20, 30 years now, so I'm grandfathered in on that one. Excuse you.
Are you really, though? Is that how that works?
Oh, no.
I don't know. I don't really care. Either way, in that movie, Quentin Tarantino has her feet down his throat.
Yes.
Fully...
she's pouring a shot down her leg. And
But he is
And I'm sure Robert wrote that scene in there to aid his
Yes.
friend.
Well, no.
Yes.
So what people forget is Desperado and Dusk were both written by Quentin because they met as what was it? El Mariachi was playing the same festivals as Pulp Fiction, and they became friends.
Okay.
Well, yeah,
So-
they were like, it's that weird, there's the weird summer of the indie guys, because the two of them were the big hits.
Yes,
And I think Clerks is the same year, and there's like another big one.
Yeah,
That's, like,
and
all the
Okay.
same.
Yeah.
It's all like
The Miramax.
1994 or something.
Miramax
Geely.
Club,
Geely,
where
right?
All the Miramax boys.
yeah,
Geely? That's the one? Geely?
Geely came after. But yes, that is connected. Geely is good
No.
job, Hunter.
Geely was not made by any of them.
Wait, that was Kevin Smith, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was Kevin Smith.
No, he made
It's-
Jersey.
But that is
Jersey Girl.
Jersey
Jersey
Girl.
Yeah.
Geely is a Miramax, though I believe.
Yes. Yeah,
Uh,
it is because they had Affleck signed.
Yes.
Okay. That makes
Yeah.
sense.
Kevin Smith has joked about like Geely came out first, and then they were like, "Oh, it's their other movie together," and then they changed their advertising to "No, J-Lo dies in the first 3 minutes" because people hated them so much.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Sounds like a great movie.
Great.
They
awesome.
sold out they sold out the bold decision at the beginning of that film. Yeah.
Well, I mean, now that they're back together, maybe we can get a sequel to that.
Yeah, Geely
Either
2,
one of them.
baby.
Yeah.
Eric,
Jennifer
you're
Affleck.
joking, but this could actually happen. That's
The
Oh, I know.
GCU. Can we get the GCU, the Geely Connection Nurse?
So, anyways, who was even talking about what they were watching before?
I
we
was
started?
talking about Chainsaw Man.
Oh yeah, you brought up Tarantino. Yeah.
that brought us to Tarantino suckling a foot like it's a teat.
Suckling
Yeah.
one of them brown skinned women, as Arlen said. We have it
Oh.
on. We have it recorded.
Well, no. I will do to you what Fred Ward. I can't. I'm bad at names.
Fred
Whoever it is,
Armisen?
Fred West.
Durst.
Fred Durst?
Yeah, Fred Durst in Dusk Till Dawn. That's what I want. Fred Durst is there, making hot dog shaped steaks. Anyway, what have we been watching lately? I watched a couple things lately. I watched Wakanda Forever last week, which was
Have you seen that yet, Lou?
No, because the baby is sick.
Eh.
I'm gonna
Oh,
watch
okay.
it really
Mm.
soon.
Your baby needs to plan its illnesses better.
but
It's been a week.
I get it.
Yeah.
yeah.
Mm.
Mm.
No, Wakanda Forever is phenomenal.
We'll probably talk more about that when everyone's seen it. But like, damn,
Yeah.
that's a great movie.
It's I like it still.
Like it's legitimately still hard to get tickets to it, even if like a week
Wow.
later.
You know what's
Yeah.
funny is in the theater I went to, because I saw it with my stepdad, and I was back home, and it's super small town. There was like 4 people in the theater seeing it, and it was it was one of the coolest like movie experiences I've ever had. It's just watching this movie with like 3 other people in the theater.
Yeah, it's pretty
Wow.
nice, isn't it?
Yeah,
That's
Yeah,
why I go
dang.
to like 10 a.m. showings.
Yeah.
Like,
Awesome.
You literally like I looked like the whole opening weekend because my mother-in-law was down. I was like, oh, she can babysit. There was like 2 seats in corners in the front row in every showing. Those were the only seats in like
God.
every showing in every theater at every time.
wow.
Jeez.
And
That's
like
crazy.
I live in a major metropolitan area, and it's like it was impossible to go to.
Yeah, I mean, I went opening night or opening day, whatever you want to call it, and yeah,
Right.
I mean, I imagine the showings later in the evening would have been jam packed, but yeah, I don't want to be in a theater around people. Leave me alone.
I don't
Yeah.
either. I don't need to hear people's commentary during Marvel movies anymore. I'm really
No,
sick of that.
I don't
Especially
need to
during
hear
Marvel
people
movies.
eating.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I feel the same. I felt bad about eating actually last night. Trying not to do that anymore. Eating at the theaters is
Eating?
becoming.
You're trying
Yeah.
not to do eating anymore.
Well, I'm trying to. But no, specifically eating at theaters, I just don't. I don't like it, and not like the food has gotten better.
Some of that.
It's
So we all make fun of my theater in my hometown, but like the food is okay, but there is something nice about being able to have a few beers in a movie.
sure.
Well,
Yes.
yeah. This weekend was the
Yeah.
opening by me of a new what are they called?
Draft House?
Draft House, yeah.
Yes, Draft
Alamo,
House.
yeah.
Yeah.
Or Draft House style, because that's being copied a lot of places.
I think it is an official Alamo though.
That's
That's
nice.
good. Those are always the better ones.
Yeah, because they have a bunch of you can see movies or they have shows there.
Mhm.
And yeah, I was like, oh, this would be great. And then I was thinking, I don't know if I'd want to go see a movie I actually want to watch.
Yeah, while you're eating dinner or whatever.
Yeah. I think it would depend on the movie. So yeah, I take your point.
I think you could do a comedy.
Yeah.
Well, so we have one of those, but it's very far out of the way. I'm pretty sure it's only there because it is part of a casino. So of course that's why that's there. But if it was closer, I would go fairly often just to watch a movie. But the meal thing, there are a couple times a year where I think I could go for that. But I agree. Like with the Marvel stuff, I do kind of just want to sit back and let it wash over me, and I'm not trying to be distracted by anything during those. Which is why I agree. Like I don't even need to hear people cheering. We're not there.
I don't. I don't need claps. I don't need anything.
Endgame was the end of that. I don't no more.
Yeah.
No.
That was the only time I allowed it because it was such that was kind of like an event for a lot of people.
Well, and even before then, I remember there was some of that for Civil War, and I understood that too because there was a huge uproar when Spider-Man walked on screen. So okay,
yeah,
I understand that. Fair enough. And of course, during the last Spider-Man movie, there was cheering during appropriate moments.
Yeah.
I don't know why I'm trying not to spoil the big moments of that, but
I know.
It's everywhere now. You can't avoid it.
I don't know why I'm like, oh, should I say that Andrew Garfield is in the movie? Yeah, he's in the. Yeah, people know he's in the movie.
Yeah.
And
but
the aging corpse of Tobey Maguire is also in the movie.
I will fight for his honor in this matter. If you need me to.
I feel like Eric and Tobey Maguire were classmates.
He's been in his late 30s, early 40s for as long as I've been alive.
Yeah, he has been.
Yeah.
He's a 50-year-old man, though.
Yeah,
exactly. He has middle-aged yuppie white face,
right. And the movie knows it. The movie, they call him, what was it, youth pastor?
Youth pastor. Yeah,
yeah.
Because he's looked like that since was it October Skies? Is that him?
Yeah,
yeah, something like that. Maybe it was.
Or Cider House Rules.
Cider House Rules was him. Yeah,
that's the movie that he got yelled at because he was cruel to the co-star.
Oh,
that's also the movie, if I remember, his character and Charlize Theron's character hook up at one point, which is wildly fictitious.
Yeah, that would never happen.
Thing in Hollywood.
No.
Oh, and Pleasantville, I think he's perfect casting for being oh, you would be.
Well, yeah.
I thought he was always a good Peter Parker because he is that dweeb, except he was 45.
Right.
Yeah. Exactly.
I will say in recent movies, the age showed more in his face than previously. I don't know why. It is the beard, but his eyes are a bit sunken.
The problem is he has to do the William Shatner, which I don't know if you guys have ever heard that.
Where
Shatner has said that every 10 years he gets older, he puts on 10 more pounds on purpose because it keeps him from getting wrinkles because it just makes him puffier.
I mean,
okay.
So therefore, he doesn't look as old.
He is a crazy person, so I get it.
Yes.
He's also clinically insane.
He possibly let his wife die.
Possibly.
I honestly think it happened.
I mean, I don't care for red letter media all that much, but it's weird when a celebrity is such an asshole. I'm rooting for red letter media.
Yeah, it is very strange. They're the good guys.
And normally my reaction to them is, fuck those guys. I hate them. So yeah, that's Eric, are you aware of this? Where he refused to be interviewed by them because he doesn't do podcasts.
Okay.
He's done multiple podcasts.
I was going to say, like, I'm pretty sure I've heard him on a podcast.
Exactly. Yes, there's a whole video about it that I was like, why am I watching this? I do not care for any of these people. I don't care for their presence. I don't like that they come up in my YouTube suggestions constantly. Yeah.
I think I don't know. This is completely off topic, but I feel like with my generation only understanding what the Nickelodeon is, my generation, like, we just miss the boat for like using YouTube in the way that you guys do, where you like have people that you actually follow and like video groups that you like watch in a regular basis. Like there's some stuff on YouTube I enjoy watching, but like it just, I don't know, it doesn't click for me like that. So
I'm kind of with you there too. Like I don't follow any YouTube stuff really.
So
no,
I find YouTube is like what I've kind of discovered as I've gotten older, like getting close to my 30s. I'm like, okay, so YouTube is better for recommendations than it is for opinions.
yes.
I use it to like find anime and stuff, like games I've never heard of, mostly right now. But
yeah,
like
at this point, I use TikTok for that.
I had to get off TikTok, man.
Well, that's because you fucked up your algorithm.
Probably, but
it's easy to. It is real easy to.
I don't. For me, like YouTube at this point is like cute animal stuff, like video game, like top 10 lists of like these 10 weapons you never found before, bullshit like that.
That's
and
mine.
then like reviews of stuff just to see if I'm interested in it before it comes out.
Yeah. So my YouTube breaks down 3 ways. It's like a few. It's actually not very many people that I'm actually subscribed to, and I watch their videos consistently. Video versions of podcasts that I listen to, so I kind of count that as its own separate thing. And then just random weird shit that I've followed just because I'm like, I don't know what this is or why this exists, but I'm going to follow their channel just so I can occasionally see a thumbnail in my subscriptions that is just utterly befuddling. And I'll
go ahead.
But otherwise, it is just like random stuff in the background for me. It's not something that I take that seriously, and I try not to lose too much time to it because I have had it the other way where I spend too much time watching YouTube, and I try to control that as much as I can.
I mean, I like it because it's free, also, and it's free.
That's nice. Yeah,
it's free,
and I don't have cable
entertainment.
And when you don't have cable, YouTube is a good source of. I just need to watch something. I don't want to think about it. I just want to put something on.
I'll watch this 6-hour review of a dating sim I've never heard of, and it's all in Japanese. But I'll watch it.
Is it the one with the birds?
No, that's
Hot boyfriend.
Yeah.
I was gonna say the only other thing I really use YouTube for is like cooking stuff. Because I'll find somebody who's cooking something I'm interested in, then I'll go to their website to get the recipe. But it's cool to see the actual process of it.
See, mine is like so different. I do have like the comic book and video game review stuff, and then like the cooking things on mine is literally like, I don't know if it would be ASMR, but it's literally just like, here's a shop in Japan. No one's gonna talk. We're just gonna watch them open the shop.
I love that shit.
Fucking udon.
I love that shit.
Yeah. Here, they're going to be making these crazy like cream and fruit pastries for like 20 minutes.
Talking. No, don't explain. Just want to watch this man who does this every day make this magicalness.
Oh, the stuff from the stuff from the night markets is always the most interesting because there's a million different types of food that people are making, and it's so cool. I'm now the oldest man on earth.
I was dating this girl who had TikTok, and she would always watch people putting things in the containers, and I just don't understand. Like, what is this?
Can I tell you, one of my TikTok things that I love is people clearing out drains.
Why? I don't get it.
It sounds so wild, but it's like, the street is flooded and they clear out like a drainage, and then you just watch all the water go away.
So it's kind of the reverse of pimple popping.
Yeah, it's definitely yeah.
And I watch like bee stuff. I have bees. I also have like a lot of like cops being bad on my Twitter, like people trying to like show like that stuff as well.
That's
But
fair.
like,
That's fair. Well, there's a lot of that. So
there's so much of that yeah. I get a lot of like the what you're talking about, the drain stuff in my suggested on YouTube. Like there was this video going around, and it was what the difference between a cleaned ventilation system looks like, or or that type of thing, where it's like,
oh yeah,
this is 5 feet of dust, and I'm like, I don't want to look at that. No, thank you.
oh,
Were
watching
you
people
getting-
clear out dryer vents and just seeing the hundreds of pounds of lint.
Yeah,
This is such a weird corner. Arlen, I think you were probably getting suggested the draining stuff because of you were watching a bunch of quicksand videos.
I
Those are some interesting documentaries.
yes, they are.
very educational.
I'm
But no,
just
you.
right now. Yeah.
So you saw Wakanda Forever, like Hunter and I did as well. What else have you seen recently?
I watched The Menu last night. That was fun.
How was that? I'm really curious.
It's a reasonably fine dark comedy. This isn't a comment on the movie. I did find myself falling asleep because I was probably really tired.
Well, that's
just
normally
in
what
general.
happens when you're tired.
Yes, so that didn't help my memory of the film. I think I might have missed like big chunks of it.
And that's like the comedy, like Saw escape room murder thing.
It's
What?
it's not.
That's what I got from the trailer.
The trailer kind of is somewhat misleading. It is, but it is also a little bit of that. It's
Oh, it's got Anya Taylor-Joy. I might watch this.
oh yeah, it's got my queen.
Yes.
And she's very good in it. She goes toe to toe with Ralph Fiennes. It's really good. She holds her own against one of the best working actors, probably.
Yes.
But yeah, I don't know how to feel about it. I definitely think that if you're really interested in it, people should go see it. But it's going to be on Hulu very soon because it's Searchlight. Searchlight is all over the place this month. Disney was just like all the Searchlight movies,
and they just open up the floodgates.
I'm kind of glad that they're still doing that though, because like
I'm very happy about that. That Searchlight exists, and they're like, we're gonna continue to make interesting, unusual movies.
Because they had Touchstone, and that was kind of their thing, right? And now it's like now they have Searchlight, and that feels like now they're actually like diversifying what they put out a little bit.
And using Searchlight makes sense because you have that brand recognizability. I mean, it's the Fox logo, it's the Fox fanfare.
Yeah.
So yeah, it makes.
I think Disney also had to play it safe for a little bit before they could really start to be like, all right, we're on steady enough ground that we can really start releasing stuff again. So and I imagine acquisitions have a whole bunch of back channel bullshit that you've got to deal with as well.
And at this point, like, it would take them like 45 bad moves for anyone to catch up to them.
Yep.
Exactly.
Straight up.
It's the only thing that can hurt the House of Mouse is the House of Mouse itself.
Yeah, exactly. It's
Bob Chapek. Yeah.
So Arlen, I think I know what the last thing you're going to mention is. Is it the movie with Florence Pugh and Harry Styles?
Oh, I heard that came out. Yeah.
I mean, if you want to hear about that,
I watched it, so I'm curious to hear what you have to say.
Oh, I've heard bad reviews.
Don't worry, darling.
I'm gonna watch The Wonder tonight, probably.
I heard really good things about The Wonder, but I don't have Netflix, so I can't watch it.
The Wonder looks really good. I'm very curious to see if it is good or if it's just a boring 3-hour movie, which Netflix has bought those.
But
before
it's
this.
got Florence Pugh in it, so I mean, like,
That's
Yeah.
true. I'll give her.
She was exposed to COVID multiple times.
Oh, no. I didn't hear about
Oh,
that.
Which is like the fourth controversial thing that happened during that movie.
that poor girl.
Well, so I don't know how to feel about all the drama for "Don't Worry, Darling."
How was Nick Kroll in it?
He's good.
Yeah.
Nick Kroll's good. Every actor in that movie, oddly enough, except for Olivia Wilde, they all do a pretty good job in the movie.
All right, I saw a clip where Harry Styles is yelling at Florence Pugh's character, and his accent is slipping in and out.
Oh,
Well,
he's supposed to be British in it. He's supposed to be British in it.
He is British. Okay.
He comes off as Australian, though, is my big hot take.
Yeah.
Well,
and real side note, I just saw that Olivia Wilde and Harry Styles broke up, so that was worthwhile, wasn't it, guys?
Yeah, that was so funny.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that was a good job.
She's going back to Jason Statham. It's happening.
No, I don't think I think that's over and done with.
Yeah, I think that's.
Do you know all this stuff, Hunter?
No, I just, I have friends who are into this stuff, and I just overhear it, so I sort of osmosis.
Hunter, do you know about the vinaigrette? You know about the...
Yes, I know what the vinaigrette.
Wait, the vinaigrette? Wait,
okay, so Olivia Wilde has a special vinaigrette, or what she claims to be a special vinaigrette that she brings to new prospective boyfriends. And it's like her, like a test, basically,
it's
and also like
fucking Black Widow web.
Right. It's also like her declaring that this is my new guy, so this story comes from.
What is it made out of? Like vaginal secretions? Like
no,
we were all thinking it, but not saying it, Eric.
So this is the thing. It is the most basic bitch vinaigrette that you could possibly imagine. It's
white balsamic.
White, yeah, basically.
It's the most white people thing I've ever heard in my life.
Yes, but so I know this story because apparently, her ex,
Jason
Sudeikis, he laid under the back of her car in front of the wheels so that she couldn't leave the driveway with the vinaigrette. And what? She was, yes, because he saw her getting the salad and the vinaigrette, taking it to her car, and he knew what was going to happen.
This man is Ted Lasso.
This is
Ted Lasso, but that is depressing.
Stupidest shit I've ever heard.
It is stupid.
The most Hollywood garbage.
It is stupid, but I do feel bad for him because it's like
I feel bad for him, but this whole vinaigrette thing.
It's stupid. Yeah,
it sounds like the most stupid
it's stupid
white person thing.
Get a goddamn divorce. Stop.
Yeah.
Well, they did.
Normal people for once.
They did get a divorce, and then Sudeikis.
Well, no. They got a divorce when she was dodging. I think it was she was dodging the what do you call it? The guy giving the
saber. And then he gave it to her while she was on stage. Yes.
Yeah, she was on stage accepting an award, and they caught up to her.
Well, she was talking about the movie. She was selling.
She was
movie.
Presenting it at Sundance.
No, it was it's like a theater presenter con, basically.
Okay. Okay.
Theater owners come to that cinema. That's what it's called. That's where most of the leaks come from. That's where the famous "We Are Venom" poster that people saw months before Venom even came out hit the scene. So a lot of stuff comes out of CinemaCon because people who aren't the theater owners who are brought with them come and they see these posters that aren't going to be everywhere for another couple months there, and then they take pictures. And so a lot of leaks come out of CinemaCon because it's not normal people. Basically, it's not people that you would expect to keep very secret.
Semi on topic. I saw something about Don't Worry, Darling, where was Olivia Wilde trying to make a movie to dunk on Jordan Peterson?
Yes.
I mean, yes.
Chris Pine's character, she said she based directly on Jordan Peterson.
Okay. Because what the fuck?
Well,
I mean, do either of you care about what the twist is in the movie?
No, I know.
No, I don't even know what the movie is about.
I know what the twist is. I think I know.
Well, okay, so
well,
the premise of the movie. Well, go ahead, Arlen. You're the one who brought this up.
so the thing that I've heard many times, and after watching it, I was like, yeah. People said that it's Sword Art Online, the movie.
What? Okay, wait, hold on. Excuse me? Is there
People
incest
called
in
it-
this? Is that what you're saying to me?
No, there's no incest.
Okay, I
it-
want to hear how this works.
You
I
wanna
don't even
what
know Sword Art. I don't even know Sword Art.
I'll tell you the incest thing after Harlan's done with the thing.
But
Oh, wait. Okay, I didn't hear what you said it was. There is an act. There's kind of attempted incest.
Oh, just attempted. All right.
Yeah, that doesn't make it
okay.
okay, Lou.
One of the characters
Okay,
does it. They don't
anyway,
know.
basically, it's like a couple years from now, VR, not game, like not. What am I thinking of? Second
It's-
Life.
You're making it more complicated than
The
it needs
meta?
to be. I
The
think.
metaverse.
It's the metaverse?
Well, no, yes, it is the metaverse. It is very much the metaverse in a way, but no, it's like a virtual reality thing. It's like an alternate reality where you're there and you're in this like 1950s fake
Vegas
reality.
mid-century type of
So-
place.
Yeah,
My my understanding is that they built all this to gaslight Florence Pugh.
Yes.
Is that it?
Well, the thing
Not
is, the movie heavily implies, if not outright shows you, that this was basically created by the guy that's supposed to be Jordan Peterson, and it's all of these like incel dudes who have their wives, their girlfriends, or their prospective partner, as somebody says in the film, who
yes.
they kidnap and put under. And you don't know this until about halfway through the movie.
Mhm.
Oh, so it's super fucked up. Okay, got it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes more sense than I was wondering to understand.
Yeah,
And
like
they-
Harry Styles is like a horrible incel in it. Like he's
Yes.
angry at his wife because she's always working because she's a fucking surgeon.
Oh my
Mhm.
gosh.
Yeah,
His
she
doctor
takes on
wife?
extra hours. Well, she takes on
It's
extra
kind
hours
of like
because
it's like
can't work.
Stepford Wives in VR.
Kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
yeah, it's
Okay, that-
it's Florence Pugh is acting circles around everybody in that movie. I mean, everybody's doing a pretty good job, but she is like on a whole nother level.
Yeah.
Yeah, like Pine has one or two scenes where he's really good.
Mhm.
Otherwise, he's basically just there
Yeah.
to be Chris Pine. But yeah, you're absolutely right, Eric. Like it's very much her movie, and a bunch of other people happen to be there.
Oh, and Harry Styles aggressively eats her out at one point in the movie.
Yes.
What the fuck?
Oh, yeah. But here's the thing: like, none of it is sexy.
No.
And if it was supposed to be sexy, they didn't do it. They
Knowing that it's like a Jordan Peterson kind of like incel dunk, I don't think it's meant to be sexy. I think it's just more to be like it's kind of just more to be like more juvenile.
specifically Lawrence and
Harry.
I'm already saying his name, Harry. I'm so disconnected from this the person's existence. I guess that like they try to sell that as like sexy or interesting, but like I don't think that they have chemistry at all. Eric.
I kind of, but not really. But I mean, it's also that's the thing. There's another rumor associated with the filming of this, and that it's that Florence and Harry had some sort of side thing going on during the movie, and
There's no way.
that's why there was
No.
tension.
I
I
call
think that
bullshit
was
on that.
something that spun from someone's PR because one of the things was that Florence Pugh's boyfriend is Zach Braff, right?
was
It
they
was.
did bring
And
So
at the
there's a
time they were
chance.
filming,
Yeah.
yes, at the time they were filming, she was filming this. They were filming season 3 of Sudeikis' show, and he's in that.
Ted Lasso.
Okay.
Ted
Interesting.
Lasso. And
Wait,
that
he's
there
in
was
Ted
like,
Lasso? Nemesis.
yes. Which
Okay.
I think he is playing the villain in the 3rd season of Ted Lasso.
Yeah, he is the villain.
Yeah. So like
That
I think
is-
there was supposedly some like how much they could say. Plus she was like constantly she has immune disorder, so
Mhm.
and they had to shut down because Wild was like not following COVID protocols with Harry Styles and going out to like dinners.
Oh,
That's what that
Jesus.
was what I heard.
Not to
yes.
derail, but I just found out that Zach Braff directed an episode of Ted Lasso. That's probably why he's in it.
Okay.
That would be
Yeah, that he said yes, that they let him direct.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. They said yes.
I like Ted Lasso. It's a really good show.
I love that show. It's great.
Yes.
Yeah, it's too positive. I can't.
Wow.
It is not that positive,
See,
actually.
here's the thing. It is and it isn't. I actually like. There's parts of it that's like maybe
Season two now with all the stuff with Olivia Wilde is too real.
it is.
It's like way too
Insanely real. It's extremely too real.
It's depressing. It's like, oh my god, Sudeikis was just writing his real life.
But it's still like a real like.
It's
we're
real
just
in
talking about Ted Lasso. It's a really good like depiction of what an actual divorce is probably like. Because it's not. There's no hostility between him and his wife.
Yeah, it's him like seeing his wife is truly not in love with him and being together is miserable.
Yeah,
Mhm.
it's good.
And then
For
dealing with a like, I am now getting a divorce. I never thought this would happen. What do I do?
And then he hooks up with a hot English lady. It's great.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And they did some stuff that I didn't think they were going to do in that show, in that second season. Because I think they made you feel like they were heading a relationship in a certain direction, and it like full left turn when the reveal happens. I did not see coming, and
I did not either.
Yeah.
What is it, like the crying game? Is that what the reveal
No,
is?
No.
no,
You think
no.
they're setting something up
Yeah.
between like
and it-
Uncle Einhorn.
they're trying to like set things up between a character and one of the male leads.
Yeah,
I'll say.
and it's not
it's
not at all
what
what you think it is. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's great.
And just like shitty parents and stuff like that too is like they do really good. And is it Goldberg or Goldstein, the guy's playing Hercules, is fucking fantastic in the show.
Yes, he's Roy Kent. He's great.
Roy Kent's one of the greatest characters of this like
Yes,
decade.
he's amazing.
Yeah, I tried that show. I couldn't get into it, which means like 6 months from
Oh,
now
it's
I'll try
too
it
positive.
again. And
Too positive.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think you need to get past like the first couple of episodes to like get into like when you actually get to know the characters and they get into
Yeah.
the heart. Because it's like, well, why would
Yeah.
a successful college coach from football leave the fucking country to go coach a sport he never played or knows anything about?
Mhm.
Did you know Ted Lasso is adapted from commercials Sudeikis did?
Yeah,
No.
I learned that. Yeah.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
the Ted Lasso was a pre-existing character. He did commercials
Well,
as Ted Lasso.
and when I was listening to a podcast and they said that, it was my favorite old reference. It was very Usual Suspects for me, where I was just like, "Oh right, I remember now. It's all coming back to me."
Which connects to what we were talking about before we started the podcast, because that also started as a commercial.
Yeah,
yeah, well,
we
Ernst
can
and
talk
Tracker.
we can talk about Ernest for another hour if you.
No.
God damn it.
So is there anything else you've been watching, Arlen, or was Don't Worry, Darling the last nail in the coffin for a little while?
I
He's
mean,
done with movies forever.
Yes.
well, so November, I've been like, I've overdone it, I think, on the horror movies. So November, I'm trying to not watch any horror movies, really, just because I want to vary it up a little bit. Want to,
No Stab November.
that's a good way to put it, Lou. That's a good concise way of putting it. And I've held pretty strong. I'm still watching like thrillers and shit. I watched Star 80 last week and American Flow.
Wow.
See, I'm gonna be celebrating November. So
November.
yes.
But it's been a lot of stuff like that. I did watch Tar last week.
Tar.
I'm really curious about that.
I want to watch this.
Kate Blanchett is good in it. That's all.
People love Tar.
I don't know if people love Tar. I don't know
No.
if love
also-
Tar.
Phillips has only done 2 other movies before this, and Little Children is fucking phenomenal. So yeah, I'll watch
Yeah.
anything that dude does. Oh,
No,
go ahead.
it's unique enough that I do think people should watch it, but I was not
man.
head over heels in love with the movie in any way. I was very surprised by a lot of what I saw, and there are many aspects to it that I found fascinating. But
I saw there's a bunch of memes on Twitter about how people love Tar.
Yeah.
what was there?
It you know how the thing where it's like an objectively terrible person, and there's like Tar's great. Like,
well, okay, so that actually makes sense because
all I read, I just want to say I went to the Wikipedia for it, and I just read the last line of the plot, and it's just like so random.
yes.
Yeah.
I also did that, and it's amazing.
Yeah, man. I mean,
Tar-
I already know what that big twist is, and it's pretty fucking awesome.
yeah. The ending is really fucking weird. Where was I? I was gonna say a thing. Tar has the balls in a post 2017 Justice League world to open with a cell phone.
Yeah.
I believe with
Is it vertical or horizontal?
it's vertical, and I believe it's Snapchat. No, Hunter, you have to educate me on this. Snapchat has the thing where you have your camera open and you can be chatting with somebody and showing them what's on your camera. Is that
you can do that. You can do that.
So it opens with somebody doing that to Kate Blanchett. And they have the balls to just let it sit there and give you the time to read the text messages. So they hold for way too long to open the movie. And there's a lot of choices like that where you're just like spending too much time looking at somebody's cell phone and what they're texting, instead of just putting the text on screen and making it look really pretty. Like there's a fuck you, I'm gonna do it this way aspect of the movie that I appreciated, and it feels very like this is art. Like it opens with the credits, and it's in the style, I think, of like an opera one sheet. I'm pretty sure. I think that's what it's supposed to be, because it's the entire screen is full of the credits. It's artists, composer, cameramen, and it's filling up the whole screen in a big grid. And it's just that over like Kate Blanchett, like doing like noise exercises, in like they say the name of a South American tribe. I can't remember which one. And it's like her like vocalizing with like people singing in like South American folk songs, from somewhere in the Amazon. And it's like really bizarre way to open your movie. And it just goes from there with the weird artsiness of the film. So yeah,
the last movie that I saw, it's Todd Phillips is the director, correct?
Todd Fields
Todd Fields.
Todd Phillips is the Joker guy.
Oh yeah. Todd Fields. I don't know if any of you have seen Little Children or if you care to have anything spoiled, but last movie I saw, the dude who played Rorschach cuts his balls off. So I will check out anything.
Little Children is one of those movies where I hear the title a lot, but nobody says anything about the movie.
Oh, it's so good. It's so good.
I know.
I feel okay.
Yeah, he's fine. It's not like you see him like viscerally cutting through.
Okay,
thank God. Just he's a convicted child molester.
All right.
And there's a point where he, after his mom dies, that he cuts his balls off. Yeah, it's pretty amazing. Yeah, it's a good movie. Yeah.
Hardcore.
Arlen, there's one other one I wanted to ask you about.
Sure.
It's the Banshees of whatever, I can't remember the whole title of the movie, but it's the guy who did In Bruges. How is that?
Yeah, it's good. It's really good.
Okay.
It's I struggle not to say that it's probably one of the best movies I've seen this year. I really, really liked it.
Better than Black Adam?
Better than Black Adam. Yes, correct.
All right.
Wow, that's a bold statement.
Well, here's the thing. if there was a man who showed up with a giant pentagram on his chest in Banshees of Inisherin, Banshees of Inisherin would be the best movie ever made.
Okay.
But there is not a man who shows up in the last 20 minutes of Black
Oh God.
They really committed.
with a gigantic pentagram on his chest and devil horns. I cannot stress this enough. Black Adam is a really boring movie until they introduce the villain who is like Satan on steroids, and it's like, where
Hell
was
yeah.
this whole movie? Why didn't you have Satan on steroids an hour ago? It's very.
I wonder how much did like WB/DZ think, oh, Black Adam's going to be the turnaround point because it's The Rock and it's the
I
big.
don't think DZ cares.
Well,
No, I don't think he does. But
Well,
it's
he's
money.
pretending to. He sure is
Yeah.
pretending to.
Yes.
I have a lot of thoughts about DZ.
I think he's angling for a fifth merger,
Yeah.
or whatever number it is.
The quotes from last week are like, what are you talking about? He says shit like, what are we doing with Lord of the Rings? And it's like,
No, actually, you know what? He should do that because I think it'd be funny.
It's like, sir, somebody else is doing something with Lord of the Rings right now. Lots of stuff going on with Lord of the Rings, and he's
I see. That's not a way to save money though. Like,
Well, no, he's saving money by putting the reality shows on HBO now.
yeah, he is. Yeah,
Because
it's
they have the I can't
Property
remember their
Brothers.
names. Yeah, Property Brothers and the other ones, the Christians from
Gaines.
Texas.
Yeah.
Chip and Joanna Gaines. Yeah.
Oh,
aside
God.
from him putting more money into that stuff, his entire plan is like, let's do the same thing we've been doing for the last 10 years, but do it better. And it's like,
That's
I don't
not a
think
good
you can
plan.
do it better. I don't think you can do it better then. If that's your only idea, if you're saying shit like, we're gonna work with J.K. Rowling again on the next Harry Potter, it's like, what are you doing?
He's trying to take guaranteed moneymakers. But the funny thing is, he said that when Fantastic Beasts was still in the theaters.
He did.
And that's I was gonna say, like, and that's not a guaranteed moneymaker.
No,
Because at this
Not
point,
anymore.
like that IP is damaged by both their bad movies and the creator.
Yep.
I think
She
the best
poisoned
case,
that well.
the best case for Harry Potter, she just sells off Harry Potter and
She
goes
never will.
retires.
I don't think she ever will.
I don't
No,
think she
she
will.
makes
There,
entirely
honestly.
too much money.
That being
But
said,
yes.
I'll probably buy that game used and play it.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna end up getting that game at some point.
I mean, that's a good way to go about it. Yeah.
Because I feel like that if you were actually going to do a Harry Potter thing, the best thing to do would be like, let's just do another movie with kids in one of the other fucking schools.
Yeah, in the American school.
Yeah, let's go to the American school or the French school or something.
Well, I would even go further, like do
The Japanese school.
Student exchange as a series, like it's
Make Tar, but in Harry Potter world.
like have it be a student who is for some reason, and maybe this is like a series long mystery that you do. It's like every year it's a student going to one of the other schools and learning about that other school.
What they do is they get a trans main character and they make a franchise off that. That's what they should do.
Well, that's what. Yeah, you have them go to the different schools and like they. I mean, if it was me, they go into each school with prejudices, and from going to the school, those prejudices are either replaced or in
British
or British.
But what's really funny is
Coming 2024, Harry Potter says the N-word.
You go to the American school and
they have guns for one.
Like there's a live play from the College Humor thing that I watched from D20, and they did like a season of like, what if 5 American kids like ended up in a Harry Potter school, and all of it's like, well, they're so British. It's like, dude, I was homeless. I'm 15. I fought adults in a gas station. I'm sorry, petrol station. And like, just like the idea of American students dealing with the British, I'm like, you guys don't know what the fuck you're talking about. You're just fighting them. It's just so funny to me.
I would love to see just fight in the Harry Potter world, just
Well,
magic fights, just
It's
the
just
whole
like
time.
before they can
Yeah.
say like any spell, just cold cocking him in the
Mhm.
face.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, sure.
It's called American Gumption.
Yeah. Send an owl
So
into the hood.
so for
God
me, I just saw Nope again. It's only the second time I saw it, and it's just as good. That movie is so good. Like
I watch that, but I haven't had the money to rent it, so I'm gonna have to do it soon.
I
Were you
can probably help you out with that, Hunter.
Sweet. All right. Cool. Bet.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hunter, did
Oh,
the
okay.
YouTube situation not work out? Did it lock
Oh
you?
my god, I completely forgot. All right, never mind. I'll do.
You son of a bitch.
I no, I literally, dude. I have no brain power left anymore. So
No, I
Like,
understand.
Too
But yeah,
much
no,
goddamn anime.
that's
But yeah.
true.
Yeah. And if anybody else who has access to the Phantom Zone logins wants to, they can watch Nope as well, Lou, if that's something you
That is true. I'd have to figure out how I'd want to put it on my TV though, which would be the only thing.
You can
So I'd have to figure that
access. So you can access your movies through the YouTube app.
Yes.
Yes,
I have-
I'd have to log into it on the YouTube app.
For some reason, I bought The Wrestler when I was really, really drunk one night, and I still have it on there, and I watched it like 3 times.
You wanted to match the energy of the movie?
I did. That movie's great. I don't know if there anyone's.
Wow.
No, that movie is
You
great.
mean the
That
movie
movie's
that was
great.
like acclaimed.
Yeah, that was great,
But like watching that movie drunk sounds like
dude. I don't.
That sounds like you're about to write a note.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
that's like the type of movie that the dad is watching in like a Lifetime movie special. Like, Daddy, why are you up at 4 a.m. watching The Wrestler
Don't worry
drunk?
about
Shut up.
Don't worry about
Shut
it.
up. I never wanted to be alive. So this one movie I just watched a couple days ago, it's called Significant Other, and it was on Universal or Paramount Plus, sorry. It stars the woman that was in It Follows, the
Yes.
blonde. Yeah.
Micah Monroe.
Half of that movie was great.
Does
Does anybody care about me spoiling the second half?
I don't even remember the name of it.
A Significant Other. So
Yes.
the whole thing is this woman and her boyfriend of 6 years are out on this nature hike he wanted to go on, like this trail that he knows. And things seem to go weird. Like, she says no to his proposal. And at one point she's out hiking on her own and she goes into this cave and she hears something behind her, turns around and she screams and it cuts her off. So it comes back and it's leading you basically to believe that she's been infected with something or like an alien or something like that. At one point she's talking to her boyfriend and says like, no, I think I was wrong. We should do this. And he's like, oh, okay, well, I'll just ask you here. She's like, no, let's go back to this cliffside where he asked her before. She says, I love you, whatever his name is, knees him in the balls and kicks him over the edge of the cliff. She starts running away, runs into 2 other campers that help her out after she falls. And she's telling them, kind of what happened, but kind of not. And then all of a sudden, her boyfriend shows up again. And you find out that he is actually infected by some sort of alien creature that is a scout for a larger invasion. And the movie goes from being this kind of moody, weird, serious film to this kind of horror comedy. And it's terrible.
What?
Wow.
Yeah.
Weird.
Yeah. It's such a drastic change. And it's not even that. It tries to do like 4 other genres in the last half of the movie. And it's an 80-minute movie. So it's got 40 minutes to try and do these different things it wanted to do that just don't work. And it's not good.
Well, this is looking very well for the Teen Wolf movie. So I mean,
I'm gonna kill you. I'm gonna cut your yeah, that sounds bad. Sounds like a waste of Micah Monroe, honestly. Yeah, go watch The Watcher on Shudder currently.
No, I canceled my Shudder subscription because I'm currently have Apple TV Plus right now. So
wait, does that include Shudder?
No. It was one or the other. And that's the other thing. I've been watching For All Mankind. and that's a show that's on Apple TV Plus, which is fucking phenomenal. Like more people need to watch it. That's the one that the premise is that Russians land on the moon first,
Mm-hmm.
and
so it's like a Man in the High Castle, but with a different event.
Kind of,
Mhm.
but it's interesting because the first season is all about like that space race. The second season takes place like 10, 15 years later, and it takes place in the 80s. And then the third season jumps 10 more years ahead, where it takes place in the 90s. And it's interesting because you see the progression of how the space race goes in America when they were second place for the longest time. And just everybody's really good. Joel Kinnaman's in it, and he's wonderful.
Yep.
Yeah, it's such a good show. It's on Apple TV Plus. You should watch it.
I gotta watch. I have
Severance.
Severance, and what's the other one? Mythic Quest.
Oh,
is that the video game one with
with Rob McElhenney, whatever his name is?
I keep also like I hear amazing things about Sight, which is the Momoa show, and I think they just finished it.
You mean C? You hear amazing things about C?
Sight.
Is it Sight or C?
C. It's C.
Whatever.
No, I
the show where everyone is blind. Jesus.
No, Lou. I understand. I understand your confusion. But I'm like, I'm befuddled by the idea that there are people who are saying C is great. I've never heard anything about that show, honestly.
It's like if you like fantasy, like bullshittery, like I heard it's.
Right. It's like C is a show that's had like a weird void around it. Like I don't like Arlen was saying or implying. Like I don't hear anything good, bad, or otherwise about that show.
The one podcast I listen to, the guy talks about how it's awesome, and he's a big fantasy nerd.
Okay.
I can see that. I just
and Momoa has a new Netflix movie that just dropped or is dropping.
Yeah, that looks ridiculous.
Yeah,
where he looks like the Beast from Beauty and the Beast.
What?
Momoa? I like
He's
Momoa.
working. God bless him.
It looks like it could be in the Sandman universe, but for children.
Yeah.
Because he's like in dreams and he's traveling in dreams with a little kid. It looks kind of like a holiday movie.
So go ahead.
Slumberland, yeah.
Slumberland, yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be something about Little Nemo Adventures in Slumberland, but it doesn't look like that. But so this is connected to Jason Momoa. I am convinced that Jason Momoa and Lenny Kravitz had an Eiffel Tower with Lisa Bonet.
They might have.
So random.
They might have.
I don't know. It's something that came to mind when I was looking at an article that was talking about like how close they all are. I'm like, I could,
That's trouble.
I think this is mean in like a mature adult family.
It has kids with his ex, and
like it's just. But you look at Lenny Kravitz and him,
they're all individually extremely rich.
Yeah, and extremely attractive. Yeah,
but like they don't have the whole like vindictive everybody hates each other divorced family. They have we have figured out an equilibrium divorced family.
Yeah, Jason Momoa and Lenny Kravitz are like all about each other, and like they're all about supporting Lenny Kravitz's daughter. Like it's just I don't know. It makes me think that they high-fived over her at some point.
It's like Lenny Kravitz and Lisa Bonet have been divorced for what, like 35, 40 years?
Something like that. Yeah, something ridiculous.
Long enough for Zoe to be a full-grown woman in the lead of a Batman movie. So yeah, a while.
The image of Jason Momoa and Lenny Kravitz high-fiving.
Like I was about to say, Eric, is this just something that you want to be true? Is this
No, it's just I was like I said, there was an article just talking about how like they're they have this great dynamic with each other, and it was a picture of all three, or like there was individual pictures of each of them, and like Jason Momoa and Lenny Kravitz just like next to each other, their pictures, it's like, oh, they look really similar. I wonder, and it just became fact in my mind.
In your defense. In your defense,
they have crazy hair and they both wear lots of eyeliner.
Wait, hold on, Eric. Hold on.
Their facial structure was very similar in the shot. That was just straight on.
You're walking a fine line here.
No,
No,
I don't. Oh God, no! I didn't even think about that. No, I don't mean it. I don't mean it like that at all. Like it's just there was something about the way the shots of their faces
Lisa
were
Bonet
taken.
has a type.
a couple.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes. Also, photographers can make actors specifically look a million different ways.
Yes.
Specifically, Jason Momoa. You can look at pictures of Jason Momoa without any facial hair, and he looks like a completely different human being.
I'm Googling this. I
so-
want to know.
They don't exist.
No,
Oh my God, they do. They do.
They
Like,
do look the same. You agree with
No,
me?
they,
And
the
depending on
pictures
the
do
light-
exist.
they and if you like light him the right, like there are times I've seen him in, especially like movies from early in his career, where like they're just like trying to sell him as white, like he is white. They
He's
are
not white. He's
him
not a white dude.
as
But he was on like
that way.
Stargate Atlantis. Was he in Baywatch or something?
Yeah,
was-
he was on a weird Baywatch. I think you're right.
That's Atlantis is where I first came to know of Momoa. He's like the Han Solo type. He's like the rugged, like warrior guy who's like doesn't give a shit about anything, and like he says the curse words and stuff.
I hate when they swear.
Yeah,
I can show you a picture of him from Baywatch, and it looks like a different human.
Like that is not the same person.
it's as if he's a body shifter of some type.
I found a picture of young Jason Momoa. It is horrifying to look at.
Yeah.
So
this was the photo I saw earlier, and this is just where
That's Taylor Lautner.
Like legitimately, yeah, it looks like Taylor Lautner, except he's like a foot taller.
does.
I mean, yeah, and again, I was coming to Eric's kind of defense, not really. I've heard rumors of there being an open relationship with Momoa and Benet, and the divorce that happened recently is because one of them was like, maybe not anymore. Maybe not so much. I don't remember who it was that objected to it. I think it might be Momoa, actually, who was like,
It wouldn't shock me.
no more open. Let's go back to a closed marriage. And Lisa's like, how's about no?
How's about I need that dick?
I need that strange. Yeah.
Lou, it sounded like you were going to say something.
No, nothing.
Oh, okay. But yeah, I posted a picture in the chat. I don't know, just something about if you zoom in on Lenny Kravitz and Jason Momoa, like they look similar to me in that photo. Like they have some similar features.
Yeah, I can see it.
Yeah.
They're like non-white, long hair, beards, tattoos.
Yeah, Eric. So Eric.
Right.
Oh yeah, so I'm racist. Okay, cool. But yeah, regardless, they high-fived over here.
They look like two kinds of people that would hang out. So sure.
They look like dudes who like smoke a lot of pot. Like
They
you
probably-
would be like that
would.
guy. Like you walk into a room, you're like that guy definitely has weed.
I would not shock me, honestly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. 100%.
Yeah, I don't even know how we got here. I don't remember.
Yeah, we kind of followed.
So something else that I'm not watching recently, but I jumped into relatively recently, and I think I'm kind of really into it now. And Lou, I know you were going to start playing it, but Persona 5 Royal.
Yeah.
I just turned it on today.
Like this is the first like Persona game I've played since 2.
I've never played one before.
And it's anime as fuck. So
Yeah.
I am so glad they have the like fast forward button, because there are times that I just don't want to listen to people talk to each other
wish
for that
they
long.
had that in Yakuza Like a Dragon, because there's like hour and a half cutscenes, and I've heard it's not even as bad as the other Yakuza games.
Yakuza Like a Dragon is awesome. I watched every
great.
second of that.
See, I love that shit though. Fucking give it to me. Like I love long-winded ass cutscenes. Give it to me.
It's just I'm in the very beginning of the game too, so it's like the dude with blonde hair finally opened up his persona, so it's just like they're just talking all the time now, and I know that's how the opening of RPGs go, but it's just like fuck's sake, give me a break, guys. But then
Is it full turn based?
Yes.
Yes, it is.
Oh, awesome.
But then it's also like I don't want to miss anything because I know there's important like social links you can make based on like choices you make with someone when you're talking to them. And it's like, oh God, I'm in for it, aren't I? Because I love the way the game looks and the way it plays. It's so cool. It's just
You're gonna become a weeb.
no. This will keep me from becoming a weeb other than watching Chainsaw Man, just so I can tell Hunter, it's okay.
No. How dare you?
But yeah. But that's really the only other thing I've been playing recently. I don't know if anybody else has jumped in anything. Arlen, is there anything you refuse to update?
Well, no, I'm gonna beat you to death. To zag where I would usually zig. If I weren't participating in No Stab November, I would actually be watching Chainsaw Man compulsively, because the first few episodes that I watched, I was like, "Oh no, this is good shit. This is
it's fantastic.
This is Arlen's once in every 10 years anime."
Yep,
that he's gonna watch, and not watch for another 10 years,
and still never watch Akira.
Mm-hmm. No, I've seen Akira. I just don't care for it.
I haven't seen. I've never seen Akira.
That is the first anime I was ever shown.
How have you never seen Akira?
I have not watched it. I don't know why.
That's actually me.
It's like the OG cyberpunk anime.
Yeah. I mean, and I guess it's just the time period that I'm coming from, when we were shocked that people were making animation and not working on railroads.
Right. Wow.
Whoa. Yeah. No, like it's like that was my first like exposure to anime at all, and it like
you know what I think it is for me why I haven't seen it is because like growing up I did not go through the typical like the most anime watchers people things. Like I only really watched Toonami, and that was like my exposure to anime.
Right.
And I like there's a long period of my life where I just didn't watch it. So like
no, that makes sense.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's where I got like my normal
constantly because of Toonami.
Yeah.
He watches Hamtaro just for free.
Yeah, I do watch Hamtaro.
See, like I had that, but I also had like an older sibling that was like feeding me other stuff.
Yeah, I didn't have that. I was an only child. So.
Yeah. Well, my older brother's Eric's age. So like literally he's like he's like, oh, I stayed over at his college when I was like in middle school, like one night, and he's like, oh, let's watch Akira. And I was like, okay, what's that? And then I watched it, I was like, I don't know what's going on, but this is fucking crazy and cool.
Cool.
And
Here,
then,
have a Zima.
No, he was showing me anime, and then he invited me to be part of his D&D group. That was my
man. Your brother must have been swimming in it when he was in college.
He was living in the room with his now wife, who was the RA.
Okay. So he was just playing the angles. Okay.
Yeah. No.
There you go.
And my D&D character at the time was a goblin whose name was Sal Manella.
Very
perfect.
Good.
All right.
Very good. Very good. Yeah, I don't. No, it's Hunter. What have you been playing recently? I mean, I know the new Pokemans came out.
I've been playing a lot of Pokemons right now. I'm going to talk about that on.
Did you Pokemon go to the polls?
I did, and you know what? It's a great game. I also been playing God of War. God of War is really good. I have a few nitpicks, but like it's pretty good.
Mm-hmm. And all of them are Alana's fault. It's all Alana Pierce's fault.
It is. I'm going to tweet at her. Also, I've been doing a Paragon run in Mass Effect. And
oh God, again!
That is that is a completely different game. Shepard is an insanely different person when he's not a renegade.
I've honestly never played the game Renegade, and I feel like I should. I only play Paragon because it seems so much easier.
Yes.
Here's the thing. Paragon Shepard is like a kind of a nice person who's like sometimes very nice and friendly, but Renegade Shepard is willing to eat a space baby in order to like stop the Reapers. Like
yes, yeah, he's a man of singular focus, or woman, depending on how you play.
Right.
Yeah.
The big question is, who are you betting down in Mass Effect? Well, I guess it depends on which one.
And one I'm doing Ashley because I think it's funny.
She's the worst.
Yeah, I know, but only because I'm doing it because I think it's funny.
So you're bedding down with a space MAGA.
Yeah, ironically,
it's how
I wish
you
you
win.
let her die.
Yeah,
I do too usually, but I'm not going to this. Oh, I've never finished the game with her like in alive, so I kind of want to know what that's like.
My original one, she was alive just because like I didn't when I played the first one, I didn't know that it would carry over, and she's just fine.
Yeah,
She's whatever.
See, my last full run of the game, I played a FemShep, and I ended up romancing what's his face in the first game.
Aiden?
I don't know. Yeah,
Aiden?
yeah, and like he shows up again in the third game, and there was this weird like tension through it.
Oh, she
So it
does
was-
too.
Really?
She
Okay.
does too. And if like you hooked up, it's the same thing if you were with what's her name in the first game, the
Sorry.
the Asari.
Liara,
Yeah, who shows up in the second game, but not except in DLC.
Yeah.
So like when you get to the DLC, if you hooked up with someone else, she's like, "Well, that was just because I wasn't around, right?" And then you have to be like, "Yeah."
Yeah, sure. Shut up, gas lady. Yeah.
You know what's funny is Ashley Williams' voice actor is actually black.
Really?
So it's really funny that
Well, she doesn't come off as white in the game, at least to me.
does.
She doesn't seem white.
for the longest time I thought she was Mila Kunis, and she's not.
I thought she was a Hispanic character.
Yeah.
In my head.
Well, that's the weird thing with Mass Effect. Unless you go with like the pre-made male or female, your character is an indeterminate race.
Yeah.
And it's fine. I don't care, but it's funny that it's just like, well, I want to be a black character. No. Well, I want to be a white character. No, you can't do that either. Well, what about in the middle? Well, maybe somewhere. Like you don't have any.
One.
What's that?
Especially in one, because like the
Yes.
sliders are so weird.
They're so bizarre. So like anytime you try and alter it, you always end up with just a large-eyed, like a Hispanic-looking guy. Basically, as if you try and adjust the sliders at all in the first one.
And I kind of get the idea, although I think it's dumb, but like oh, in the future we're all just like shades of brown at that point.
And I get that, but I don't think they were going for that. I think it was just shitty design.
Yeah.
Well, that's why 2 is so much better than 1. Like one of the many infinite reasons 2 is probably the best of the 3.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, I like 3 a lot, but yeah, 2 is just the most pure experience.
Yeah.
I don't know. Lou, have you been? Well, no, you haven't really probably been playing a whole lot because
No, I have not been playing a whole lot of games, but I have been watching stuff. So my wife has forced me, and we're caught up right now. You're watching the second season of White Lotus. She watched season 1. I did not.
My wife and I watched like a couple episodes of that, and it was okay, but it wasn't enough for us to go back to.
Yeah. See, like I got it confused when like she said White Lotus. I guess there was another show that came out when the first season came out with Nicole Kidman. And I could mix those 2 shows up.
Is that the one with Hugh Grant?
No, that show I watched, that show's fucked up.
White Lotus is the Aubrey Plaza show.
Strangers?
Yes, the second season is Aubrey Plaza in it.
Yeah.
The first season had Jennifer Coolidge. She's in both, and Connie Britton is in the first one, and Alexandria Daddario.
That's it. Yeah.
Yeah.
The second season has Coolidge, F. Murray Abraham, Michael Imperioli, Aubrey Plaza, the dude from his name's Theo James, the dude from Divergent films is in it.
That doesn't help.
Yeah.
He hangs dong twice in the first episode.
Jesus Christ.
He's one of those,
get those subscriptions.
He's one of those British actors that they're trying to make happen. He's fetch as an actor.
The first season looks like it had a bigger cast, like overall, like size wise. There's also had like Steve Zahn and Cindy Sweeney in the first season.
Okay, I'll watch. All
the
right.
second season is much smaller.
God damn it, you! You fucking self-parody. I'm more interested in the first season after it ended because all I hear is just like people talking about how it's top tier TV. So I want to go back to it. It's
Yeah,
written by Mike White, he's written many great films, but I
Oh,
think the one most people would know is School of Rock.
is he also the one who wrote Buck and Chuck and directed that?
I think that sounds correct. That sounds right.
That movie's interesting. You guys should check it out.
Mike White is just he's an interesting guy. I
He's
know
a
a
weird
lot
guy.
I know a bit about him. I remember his Marin episode from like 10 years ago now, as being memorable because he gets very real about like suicide attempts, and at the time bisexuality was a new topic that I didn't know a lot about, and he talks about that. And so yeah, he's an interesting guy. I'm curious to try the show out now after so many months of hearing that it's like, again, top tier excellent television. But I just, something about the look of it when I first saw the trailers for, I was like, I don't know if I need that right now.
Yeah, from what, at least so far, because I think it's 3 episodes in the second season, it's like it's a hotel chain that's called like the White Lotus, like they're 5 stars. So the first
Right.
season, somebody died, and it's like kind of a slow like thing. And so the second season starts with like the opening. It's one of our characters that we're gonna find out like last day on the beach, telling hi, goes for a swim, and then a body shows up, and then like the
Okay.
hotel manager, they're like, holy crap, there's a body, and the person comes by, it's like, no, there's bodies. And then it cuts to like 2 weeks
Mhm.
earlier or whatever, and there's like 3 groups. So it's like Connie Britton and her husband, and she's returning from the first season, and they're like trying to rekindle some stuff. Then it's F. Murray Abraham is the grandfather to Imperioli, and then his son are there because Murray Abraham's wife died, so they're visiting Sicily because they're Italian and their family's all fucked. And then it's Aubrey Plaza and her husband, and then the dude from the Divergent film is and his wife, who's the woman in the opening, are like on like a couple's vacation, and the 2 guys were college roommates, and it's like
I'm never going to watch this.
it's like very like it's like a character kind of, it's very like a character piece on like all of these people suck, but then you're like, well, there's some good things, and then some of them are just like, no, they just suck. Because like
Yeah.
There's
Aubrey Plaza and her husband's like, oh well, they're like very like they're both not white, they're very like into the world, and like, oh, like, I don't know about bringing a child in this world with everything going on. And then the guy from Divergent, his wife's like, wait, what's going on? Oh, we don't watch the news anymore. I don't even know if we voted. Like, there are those people.
Right.
Yeah.
But it's like got really good acting in it. It's just like, I don't know, it's like watching shitty people be shitty.
I can.
Right.
That's the thing. I can only take that for so long.
Yeah.
Like that's why I can
Yeah.
only watch so much of Curb Your Enthusiasm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So, and I 100% agree with you. I guess you're just like constantly waiting for like, well, we know there's bodies. So it's just like,
Yes.
who's the ones that are gonna die, and how do they die?
Right.
And then I've been watching docs. I watched the Killer Sally, which was the bodybuilder one that was on Netflix.
Oh yeah. I forgot that was
Yeah.
on there. Yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty good. It's interesting. So it's 3 parts. I would say like the first part is basically all from her perspective leading up to the incident, the murder, the killing.
Mhm.
I don't know, murder depending on what you say. And then the second episode is like not the flip, but kind of like from the prosecution side of like, well, here's another way to look at like their relationship and what happened in that day. And they
Okay.
talk to both of their kids. Their kids are in it, she's in it. Like both sides of their friends, like, and everybody, they talk to people in the industry. And it's like 80s into like the early 90s. 'Cause I think it's like Valentine's Day, like 93 or 94 that she kills him. And the
Okay.
last one's about kind of like the trial. And it's interesting. It's an interesting look at like the bodybuilding community, and then like the idea of like abused women of that time and like how the prosecution and the defense teams like used that.
Right.
Well, I
it.
mean, if women are being abused by bodybuilders, I imagine they just turn into like a red paste.
She is
because they're so
also a
swole.
bodybuilder.
Oh,
That's the whole
shit.
thing is they were both bodybuilders.
So it's like a Dragon Ball Z
Equal
fight.
footing.
Okay.
The difference was she was like, I think she's like 5'2" or 3", and he was like 6'2".
Yeah, well, Krillin got in fights, so
Yeah.
I think
Yeah, he did. But he was the strongest human.
that's
Yeah.
true. Yeah. Oh, she was the
Um,
strongest 5'2" woman.
But it's like it's interesting, and then you like learning about her past, and then like what happened to her kids at the end. But it definitely leaves you with like
They also became bodybuilders.
no,
Yeah.
the both people were in the military, and they talk about like how both of them had PTSD and stuff, and her
Don't
getting into
fucking
like
say.
fetish video stuff as like a bodybuilder, like making money
Right.
by stepping on people, wrestling men.
This is my first barrier to entry, and it's extremely personal, which is this.
What, getting stepped on?
No, at a prior employment, I worked a bodybuilder competition, as service staff, and I can't stress enough the smells that I was exposed to.
Protein shake farts are a thing.
It's even worse than just that, though. Like
they had like
it's
the guy
another
who,
level.
they had people from ESPN on it who like work the shows. There's like, yeah, like I ran the show, and like we did a year where we tested everyone for steroids, and literally people who paid like thousands of dollars for like a VIP box, he's like, what the fuck is this shit? I came here to see fucking freaks. No more of this shit. And the guy was like, and we never did it again.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyway, watching this, I would just, if I were to watch this, I would smell the smells again. I know I would, just by looking at it. I would just think of like walking into a room and smelling the worst things I've ever smelled.
Well,
just
Arlen, tangentially connected to that, didn't you also work one of those crazy like Christian strongman things, or was that just where we went in the chat when you talked?
You're
about
conflating a couple of things together. I did work like there was in the exact same area of the building that I worked at, there was it wasn't strictly flat earthers. It was like all conspiracy thoughts.
Oh god!
Invited,
curved but not flat.
Right. It's more than that. It's also like global warming deniers. All people who now, if they were holding the same conference right now in the same building, it would be a Q conference, and it would just be a Q conference.
All those people are now like they ran for House and Senate seats and
Yes, exactly. And I remember one of the controversies was a man came to be part of the conference who was a Nazi who brought a gun with him to the conference, and they had to kick him out.
Because of the gun, not because he's a Nazi, right?
Not because of the Nazi, because of the gun.
You can't be doing.
And it was a lot of stuff.
You can be one.
And then there was I definitely worked like a off-brand Scientology pyramid scheme a couple of times. No, it wasn't NXIVM. It was like one step removed from Herbalife. It was like less prestigious Herbalife.
Was it ketones?
Something like that. And they also very similar smells to the bodybuilders.
I bet.
Very similar smells because they're all drinking like the shakes and like the homemade Powerade, like and all that stuff. And it's
my favorite.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and when he says homemade, he means literally homemade. Like they just probably made it out of things that they found in their house.
Like baking powder.
Yes.
Yeah. But
they found recipes on like bodybuilding forums.
They would occupy this one boardroom presentation area like once a month or so. But there was this one big conference that came in where they rented out an entire stadium.
Jesus.
Yeah, and that event went on for 3 days.
This was the snake oil salesman.
Yes, this is the same people, the same pyramid pyramid scheme people. I don't know why I said pyramid triangle, like I was listing the levels of shapes, or the dimensions of shapes. But no, it was like 3 days, and I think they went for 18 hours each day. Because I
that's
heard
what they do on purpose, because then they're trying to break your will.
Yes, and I remember hearing from people who had been there, who had worked like 12s during those 3 days, because that was the only work I think anybody was going to get for a while, because it was like it was like support staff for event centers, and those places have pretty big down periods. I've talked to you guys about this privately and in the chats. Like when I was working there would be times where I had a lot of money because I was working a lot, and there would be times where I didn't work for a month at all. So no dollars coming in whatsoever. So that was a fun job that I will never return to ever.
Fair enough.
So yeah, but I have distinct memories of events like that where it's like, am I dreaming right now? Is this a nightmare? How is this real? Why am I seeing people watching presentations where it's like I said, climate change denial, but it was like people with different versions of climate change denial.
Oh, that's
like,
okay.
Yeah,
So
they were
there's a marketplace
disagreeing.
of ideas. That's what you're saying,
Right. They were disagreeing about the reasons why there is no climate change. Just
Rational
fascinating. Yes, very rational. And I do believe
it's-
one of them, like the reasoning for one side was that the Earth is flat. They're like, well, the Earth is flat, so your reason for why climate change isn't real can't be it. It has to be this
God.
So these are the type of people that would believe that that crazy theory I shared with you guys about Nancy Pelosi's husband.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right.
Lou, did you hear this?
There's like 12 theories, so which one are you talking about?
The one that the dude who banged him up with a hammer was actually his gay lover and was invited into the house, and what happened was a lover spat.
We've all been there.
Now, as I pointed out in the chat, the reasoning for this theory was that he was naked. But as I also supposed in that chat,
He just sleeps naked.
People who break into these people's houses, they've never been perverted once. None of them have been sexual nymphomaniacs or things like that. None of them have been sick
If
people
you
at all.
were crazy enough to break into like the Speaker of the House's house because you believe in these insane conspiracy theories, I believe you're crazy enough to be naked while doing so.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. Yes. Well, and also, again, we have previous evidence of this when people stole AOC shoes. Do you think they stole those? Do you think they stole AOC shoes for non-sexual reasons?
No.
Is that the impression that you're under?
Jerk off into them. That's what they did.
So is that what all the people on January 6th were doing too? Like the dude who stole the podium? Did he just hose that down?
I mean, I can't say he didn't. I can't say that didn't happen. You know,
well, Lou, what are some of the other more wild theories on what happened with Pelosi's husband? Because that's the only one I've heard.
They're not as insane as that. It was more like, that it was like a plant and that, like, they set the whole thing up and stuff like that.
Right.
Or like,
that's
I have heard the lovers quarrel one before, or like,
right. Yeah,
that's boring. That kind of sounds like some shit that Bobert or Marjorie would say.
Yeah,
our favorites.
Yeah.
Our favorites. Mm-hmm. Well, do we want to wrap up, guys?
Sure.
I think it's time.
Sure. Yeah, I think it's good. I mean, it's midnight. We talked about the greatest movie of the century, Black Adam. So we're good on that. We covered everything. Yeah. All the shit that was fit to talk about. I've been your somewhat host, Eric Fedorchak. You can find me at Instagram, on Instagram, not at Instagram. I don't live there. At Eric_Fedor. There's a picture of dogs and food and cats and comics. Just got the 2 American Vampire omnibuses, the Heroes Reborn omnibus, and the newest Avengers Aaron Run hardcover. And I'm so excited to read all of it, but especially the American Vampire stuff because I never got to read all of that. Yeah. Outside of that, go read some comics. Go watch some movies that you've never seen before. Maybe they'll be good. Maybe they'll be bad. They'll probably be bad.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. That's all I got.
LHP still cranking that out. Look forward to new episodes soonish. Other Eric decided to go to Ireland for 2 weeks. So
cool.
Go to his Instagram. Actually, he's posting a lot of cool stuff from Ireland. He went to the same Guinness distillery that I believe Conan O'Brien went to.
Yes.
Canada was not wide enough for Eric.
It must be nice to be living in a country that isn't a dumpster fire all the time. I know Canada has its problems, but
their prime minister was it blackface or brownface?
He was in blackface multiple times. So.
Eric is also in French Canada, which is just entirely different.
Which is it's all
different, and it's like different racism.
Yeah, different racism.
Right.
It's French
different
racism.
breed.
So
it's a new flavor of racism.
It's lots more cheese.
Yes.
Eric's gonna love this, by the way. He's gonna love all of this because I know he listens, and he'll text me in the middle of the night.
Just smothered in poutine.
Yeah,
you could fall
they pray to a statue of GSP holding poutine.
Oh God,
you could. I was trying to think of a French Canadian, and that was the only one I could think of.
But here's the thing: Eric would confirm for you if you were here that yes, people would do that because even
I've been to Montreal multiple times. It's true.
Yeah, absolutely.
World traveler. Hunter, you're trying to get your plug in.
So you could follow me on Twitter, but I'm gonna delete that shit in a couple weeks. So
no, you don't have to. It's gonna delete itself.
True.
Yeah.
You can follow me on Tumblr though at Mango SNTL, and you can follow me on Instagram _comic_. You can also go listen to Crossover Attack in the Comic Club if you'd like.
It took me a second. I'm so happy you named your Tumblr handle Mango Sentinel.
On that note, I'm back on there as well. I forgot
they banned all the NTSF stuff from Tumblr.
No,
they brought it back.
Yeah, they did a stunning heel turn, or I guess face
when
turn.
They lost 90% of their users.
Well, here's the thing. I'm personally why I'm back on it because I was looking for an alternative to Twitter, and this is better than Twitter, so I'm just going to use this.
That's why a bunch of people suddenly reactivated their Tumblrs, myself included, because it's like everybody is back. It's crazy. But they didn't undo it because they're still doing the whole searching for naughty posts thing, but like they've given you more options so that you can show intentionality.
I've seen some art that leads me to believe that maybe that won't last long.
That's very generous of you.
I know what Hunter's talking about, but they have added this like
what
theme
specific things?
Well, it's like
I follow the Chainsaw Man tag, and I've seen a lot of interesting.
Hunter. Oh, no. So depending on how those posts are tagged, though, it decides whether you'll see them or not. So you can. Yes, you can add filters that say this post contains violence, this post contains sexuality. They have like 2 of them for sexuality, and it's very confusing which one means what to me.
Just click both.
Yeah.
Who cares? You'll be fine.
Yeah. Look at them.
Look at the art.
Exactly.
Look at the art.
Look at it. And also people tag. People also do the NSFW tag even more so than they did before. I'm noticing everybody's like, and Tumblr was always good about that, but now it's like it's even more so. I've noticed just in the week that I've been back. It's just yeah. And it's a lot
Way
of the
better.
same old faces that I knew from then. Lou, would you like to do your plugs?
I ain't got shit. I guess the only thing I would say is rest in peace, Batman. We
Yeah.
lost Kevin Conroy.
Oh,
Yeah.
That one fucking hurt.
yeah, that's. I don't know if I've really felt it yet. I'm still just like.
I was devastated.
I went like I was just watching clips and like I don't know if this is for every comic reader, but for me, like there are certain, especially if there's been like movies or cartoons, like I read characters in a voice. Like when I read Batman, it's always his voice. Like he's my Batman.
Yeah.
When I read the Morrison run recently, it was bad.
He's my Batman. Hamill's my Joker.
Yeah. When I was reading comics heavily, I was doing that. I was certainly casting voices in my head for people, and he was the one. The thing that I would do though is if I was reading current Batman, like he's supposed to be Batman right now, he's in peak of his prime. I was doing him, but anything where it's supposed to be older Batman, I've gone Peter Weller. For any time I'm reading older Batman, because
he
of
did
his
the voice for Beyond too, I believe.
he did. He did do Beyond. But older one, I just think of Peter Weller. Like when I'm reading the Dark Knight Returns.
He did Dark Knight Returns. Yeah.
And now I can't get that version, his version. So whenever I'm reading that one specifically, but like if I go read Kingdom Come, it would probably be Peter Weller that I'm thinking of. If I were to go read that, or any of the other books where it's supposed to be an older Batman.
Completely unrelated. I just wanted to say good job, PA residents, for voting in both Shapiro for governor and Fetterman are, as Hunter put it, our first orc senator.
Yeah, I think that's great.
As another tweet I saw put it really well, is he's what happens when you put all the sliders in Elden Ring to the max. I love it. I'm so happy that happened, and it's the best thing ever. And that's about it. So I guess goodbye, everybody.
Yeah. Now to awkwardly say bye.